Today's film is a crime action from 2009 titled Public Enemies. The film opens in the Indiana State Prison during the fourth year of the Great Depression, in the year 1933. Our lead, John Dillinger, and his partner in crime, John Red, pose as prisoners to break into the prison and free their gang members. They smuggle weapons in the cloth factory inside thread boxes, which the gang members get a hold of and gun down the prison guards looming over their shoulders. At the same time, Dillinger is recognized by the guard who's taking him to his cell, so he breaks free from the handcuffs and guns him down. Dillinger and his thugs unite in the break room area, where they hold the guards at gunpoint and steal their uniforms to disguise themselves before running out of the prison. Just as Red walks away to bring their escape car near the main gate, a gang member named Schaus shoots a guard for not complying. This triggers the prison's sirens and alerts the guards in the tower, who begin shooting at the gang when they head towards the main gate. Dillinger stays back to shoot back at the guards while his thugs get in the car. One of them gets shot before getting inside the car, so he gets dragged along the car until he dies. Dillinger blames Schaus for the shootout and kicks him out of the car. The gang arrives at its isolated safe house. Everyone feeds and changes clothes before heading out to Chicago to make some noise. In a second timeline, FBI agent Melvin is in pursuit of a dangerously handsome criminal named Pretty Boy Floyd. Floyd outruns him in the woods, so Melvin shoots him in the chest and places him under arrest. Back on Dillinger's side, he arrives at his hideout and gets straight to fixing the guns that were being problematic during the shootout. He's called to meet a guest, while Red meets their car dealer, Harry. Dillinger meets up with Martin, a cop who secretly works for him. He suggests Dillinger lay low, but Dillinger hands him an envelope of cash to buy his silence and leaves. Subsequently, Dillinger and two of his gang members arrive at a bank in their overcoats. While the gang members subdue the guards, Dillinger uses the manager to get to the vault. Once their task is done, they head out with some hostages, whom they use as shields and prevent the cops from shooting at them. Though they shoot at the cops with their submachines and flee successfully. Once out of town, they release the hostages. On the contrary, FBI Director Edgar Hoover appeals to the government to increase their budget so they can compete with the criminals that use far more advanced weaponry and fast cars than them. He's insulted for his incompetence instead, and his request is also denied. Frustrated, he meets up with Melvin and congratulates him on Floyd's arrest. He then tasks him to hunt down Dillinger before he wreaks havoc in their town too. Melvin confronts the media outside their building and pledges to catch Dillinger. Meanwhile, Dillinger heads to a crowded restaurant for a work meeting where he eyes a beautiful woman named Billy. He uses his charms to attract her and takes off. He buys her a fur coat and takes her somewhere quiet to reveal his true identity. She accepts Dillinger for his true self and becomes his girlfriend. Back in the bureau, Melvin and his team begin tracking him from his coat that he gave to one of the hostages during his recent bank robbery. They also use their means to track down their car dealer, Harry. Back on Dillinger's side, he catches Billy walking out on him, so he causes a scene by acting possessive about her and beating a meddling hotel staff member. He doesn't give up until he convinces Billy to stick with him and leaves with her. He brings her to a hotel room and makes love to her for the first time. In the meantime, Mervin's sources lead him to the hotel where Dillinger's staying, but their intel turns out to be wrong. Melvin momentarily leaves an agent in the building to head for some weapons, but Dillinger's thugs gun down the innocent agent. When Melvin finds him dead, he opens fire in there. He soon realizes he's late as he watches the goons flee in their car. While Dillinger and his felons rob another bank, Melvin calls Hoover and updates him on his failed attempt. After carefully assessing the situation, he requests Hoover to involve professional lawmen like Charles Winstead from the West Bureau to tactically capture Dillinger. The next day, Melvin receives Charles and new arrivals from the station, while Dillinger and his group place bets on horses in a horse race. Later, they rent rooms for the day. Billy and Dillinger are getting it on when the deputies from the sheriff's department break into his room and arrest him. When they take him outside, he sees his other partners getting arrested too. He finds from them that the firemen found their guns and called the cops on them. Later, Melvin comes to visit the locked-up Dillinger, who's fully updated on Melvin's recent arrest of Floyd. He praises Melvin and lets him know he'll be out soon, but Melvin is confident that he'll be executed instead. Up next, Dillinger is sent back to the prison in Indiana, where his trial begins. On his first hearing, a syndicate lawyer appeals to shift Dillinger to their Crown Point prison, where Dillinger easily escapes from with his inmate. He equips himself and then drives away in a police vehicle. Later, he calls Billy, but she begs him not to contact her, as she's under police surveillance. He turns to his associates from the Chicago outfit, but they refuse to help him and point their guns at him because he's a threat to them. He explains that Dillinger's wild robberies have forced the government to prosecute interstate crime as a federal offense, which risks their bookmaking racket. Meanwhile, Hoover asks Melvin to target Dillinger's gang members and their families. Out of desperation, Dillinger meets up with another associate in a theater, where Schaus meets Dillinger and requests to be taken back into the gang. Dillinger's associate next inclines him to a bank robbery in South Dakota by promising him good fortune. Dillinger agrees immediately because he intends to use the money to break out his partners from prison, who were arrested alongside him earlier. The robbery doesn't go as planned when the cops arrive and open fire. They retaliate, but the pedestrian makes things worse by running around after hearing the gunshots. They grab onto their hostages and escape the crime scene without scoring any money. They arrive at their safe house, somewhere in Wisconsin, where Dillinger plans to free his fellows from prison. Red convinces him not to, knowing the police are fully committed to capturing them. On the other hand, Melvin and his team save Carol and use unorthodox methods to get a word out of her about Dillinger. The doctor tries to meddle, but Melvin shuts him up in the name of justice. After finding Dillinger's location, they head to the lodge he's staying at. They hide in the woods and keep an eye on whoever comes out. They mistake some local drunks for Dillinger and open fire at their car when they try to get away. Dillinger wakes up from the sound of gunfire. By the time Melvin and his agents enter the lodge and open fire, Dillinger and Red separate from the gang and escape. The newly arrived agents go after Dillinger and Red in the woods and shoot Red. Despite bleeding to death, Red escapes with Dillinger. Elsewhere, an agent spots one of the gangsters, Nelson, but Nelson shoots him to death and flees in his car. Melvin and his agent Johnny witness this, so they hop in an arriving car and chase Nelson, who stops to pick up two of his associates. Melvin drives closer to Nelson's car and opens fire with his submachine gun. The thugs also retaliate with a rifle, but it soon jams and stops working. Melvin seizes the opportunity and shoots their radiator, due to which their car spirals out of control and skids off the road and overturns. Melvin comes after them and shoots them down one by one with his perfect aim. Nelson is a tough cookie who fires back at Melvin using his submachine gun till his last breath, but Melvin gets to him first. Back on Dillinger's side, he steals a farmer's car and tends to Red's wounds before escaping, but he eventually dies. Meanwhile, Melvin returns after crediting some sort of success. He prepares his agents to hunt Dillinger down, knowing that he will be in a vulnerable state after finding out about the deaths of his friends. Scenes cut to Dillinger, who signals Billy once he's near her place. Billy covers herself up well enough to not be seen by the cops spying on her and unites with Dillinger. The cops still recognize her and return to the bureau to alert Melvin about Dillinger's recent whereabouts. Dillinger contacts Frank from the Chicago outfit again and begs for their cooperation. He later takes Billy out in an open field to catch up. There, he devises another plan to pull a last heist to secure enough money to run away with her and leave things for good. After making promises, he drops her off at the hotel in the morning, where the feds are already waiting for her. As they put her in cuffs, Dillinger helplessly hears everything in his car. He gets out of his car with his gun when the feds are taking Billy away, but he doesn't do anything and goes unnoticed by the feds. He drives away while trying to hold back his tears. In the bureau, Billy is brutally beaten up during her interrogation. She misleads them and wastes their time. which makes them angrier. Melvin soon arrives and angrily breaks their interrogation. On the contrary, the gloomy Dillinger joins an acquaintance, Alvin, and the Barker gang to rob a train for the last time. Melvin pulls strings to arrange a meetup with Dillinger's acquaintance, Anna Sage, who agrees to turn in Dillinger to save herself from deportation. When Dillinger discusses his heist with the Barker gang and returns to his place, he tells Anna that he will take her out for a movie along with Polly. She sends them the update, so they start guessing which cinema they will go to. Dillinger is randomly walking around when he discovers from the wall posters that all of his friends have been shot dead by the feds. He returns to his place, where he shaves before taking the girls out. Melvin and the feds survey all the cinemas and find the one with Dillinger in it. The second Dillinger walks out of the cinema, he's shot multiple times. At last, he's shot in the back of the head. The bullet comes out from under his eye socket, ultimately killing him. Agent Winstead is able to catch his final words, in which he's bidding Billy farewell. Hence, he shows the decency to deliver those words to Billy in prison. Here, the film ends. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps.